Hey everybody, it's me, Jessica. We're gonna get started literally right now, laying down on the floor in Savasana for today's core and stretch class. Recommend that you have a block nearby. Ooh. Well, let's get ready to do some relaxing, some nice stretching, and then feel as amazing as we possibly can. Solid plan. All right, so we're starting today in our Savasana. What a delightful treat coming away from your desk, laying down on the floor. Take a couple moments when you first come down on the floor to truly just breathe and be. And maybe after a couple of breaths, you want to make a slight adjustment. For me, I know it would feel better if I got a little bit more of my shoulders spread out on the mat, starting to bring more of that lower back down towards the mat. If you're having any sort of lower back issues, perhaps you bend your knees generously, even tenting your knees together. I feel like there's a weird shine in the video, and currently I can't see my face at all. That's okay. We're going to hang out here in our opening savasana of your choice for just about one more minute. And I encourage you in this next minute to be as still as possible. Pretend like you are playing freeze tag, and we're on the freeze portion, but it's okay if your belly rises and falls with your slow, gentle, deep breaths. Just eliminating any other sort of intentional movements. So frequently, when you're feeling work or life stress, it can be hard to relax on the floor. Finding stillness is not always easy. So please be kind to yourself as you do your best. All right. Go ahead, start to bend your knees, place the soles of the feet on the floor, walk those heels in closer towards the center line of your body. Keep that lower back grounded on the floor. Left foot stays planted. Ooh, inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. Make a couple circles with your ankle in one direction. Make a couple circles with your ankle in the other direction. Really point and flex your toe. Ooh, stretching through the toe towards the ceiling, pressing through the heel, giving some love, not just to the ankles, but also to the calves. And then go ahead, cross your right leg over your left. Intentionally work to bring those two knees in one line. You might even want to bring your hand to your thigh to help apply a little bit of pressure here. And if your hip feels really tight or tense or like it's 100% or, 60% even, limiting your range of motion, perhaps even bring your hands in, give yourself free massage, free massage. And your free massage right now, while we hang out here for the rest of this minute, doesn't have to just be in the hip flexor. I know I've been having some tightness from the quad tendon, especially into the knee, has been really challenging for me for the past uh, ooh, since the beginning of this month. So a little more than a week. So I'm just trying to give a little bit more love and stretch into the leg area, the whole area. Just using your fingers for a little self myofascial release. So if you come across a spot that's like really tight and tense, don't avoid it. Hang out there for an extra couple seconds. Really use your breath. All right, you can stay here in this um, gentle figure four with the focus more towards the hips and towards your inner thigh. Or you can finish up bringing a little bit more focus towards the hamstring and the glute by lifting your left leg off of the mat. And you don't have to thread the needle if you don't want to, but if it's comfortable, if you would like to interlace your fingers behind your back or maybe apply a little bit of pressure onto your knee, can you relax your shoulders back down towards the mat? Can you take any overarching out of your back and find a little engagement of the belly button drawing back towards your spine? We've got about two more breaths here. And as you finish that second breath on the exhale, release your left foot down to the floor. Inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. One more time. Make those big circles with your ankle. Make them in both directions. Find a quick little pointing and flexing of your toe, and then release your right foot down towards the floor. Take a moment, open your feet a little bit wider, mats width distance apart. Take a gentle windshield wipe of your knees in either direction. Do you notice? Does that feel a little easier on the right side that we've already brought some stretching, love, breath, and attention to versus the left? I feel a difference, but it also could just mean that the left side of the body is a little tighter than the right. So let's bring some love towards that too. Heel, toe your feet in a little bit closer, back in line with your hips. Keep your right foot planted on the floor. Go ahead. Oh, inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling. Make some circles in one direction with your ankle. Great work. Make some circles in the opposite direction. Point your toe, flex your foot. Really try and touch the ceiling with those toes. Try and touch the ceiling with your heels. Give me three more of each. Oh, so much stretching onto the top of the foot, through the ankle into the calf. And when you finish three, go ahead, cross your left leg over your right and start to bring those two knees into one line. Take a couple moments with your breath. Just notice how it feels. Maybe you notice it feels different than the other side, and maybe that's not in your radar. That's totally okay. If things are still feeling pretty tight here, though, let's start to add that massage element. Maybe you needed it on one side and you don't need it on the other. Maybe you're going to give it to yourself anyway because it's free massage. Why not? Why not? So using your hands to get a little bit of that self myofascial release. Remember, if you find a spot that feels a little tender, tight, or tense, don't shy away from it. Maybe finding a little extra squeeze or pressure as you breathe through it will help to open it up and create a little bit more space. However, if you do anything and it really goes from being a little uncomfortable, maybe tight, tense, being painful, you ease your way out of that and be kind to your body. You know what's best for your body today. All right, so we're finishing out the first half of the stretch. You can stick here right now, still working to bring your knees together if you want to keep the focus on the front side of the hip and groin, or lift the opposite leg up off of the floor. So even with that leg lifted, I'm still trying to send that left knee away to be in line with the right. I didn't just bring the left knee in towards the chest, because then you lose out on a lot of the stretch that you can get from the left glute. So maybe you're still applying a little bit of pressure of that left knee away from you, even as you're drawing that right leg in. It's a little bit of a yin yang. Feel it here. Lower back is relaxed on the floor. Relax through your shoulders. Just a couple more breaths right here. On your next exhale, carefully release right foot back down towards the mat. Inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling. One more time, a couple circles in each direction, a couple points and flexes, and then releasing your left foot back down towards the floor. Heel toe your feet out nice and wide again, and find your little gentle windshield wipes. Do both sides feel a little bit more even and open this time while windshield wiping your legs? I certainly hope so. All right. Next up, we're going to use our prop So heel toe your feet back in towards each other. Press up into them. We got a supported glute bridge. So block right at the lower back, glutes gently hanging off of the mat. Nice stretch into the low belly, a little stimulation of the digestive organs as well. If you want more of a stretch, we're going to be here for 1 minute. You can also, I'd suggest slowly walking your feet out. I got a little ambitious there. Maybe even bring your arms up overhead for a little bit of a pontoon posture. Just hang out and breathe. Try to create some stillness. Find something that you can stick with. Melting your lower back into your block or prop. Feeling that nice long stretch, maybe even a gentle pulling through the belly area. We got about 2 breaths left right here, just relaxing. If you did extend your legs all the way out in front of you, carefully start to bring those heels back towards the center line of your body. I'm baby stepping my way there. Baby steps to success. All right, once you're back in about a glute bridge, go ahead, press into the soles of the feet. Release your lower back down. We're going to roll over onto our side. From here, we're going to take a nice side body stretch. So one arm down on the floor. Really focus on seeing if you can get your elbow about underneath of your armpits. Oh my. You can take a slight bend in your knees, maybe even just a bend of that lower leg. I want you to reach your fingers down of your lifted arm towards your toes. Getting a nice big side body stretch. Already starting to get a little bit of engagement in this arm, which is great because next up we're going to go for a side plank with a bit of a hip dip. So I'm going to bring this arm in for a little bit of support. I'm going to be kind to my body today. I'm going to do this side plank hip dip with 1 foot or knee on the floor. So maybe you have your bottom knee down on the floor. Maybe you extend both legs out. I'm going to bring my top foot forward so I can really press up and join me. Let's meet in a plank. Hanging out in this plank for just 10 seconds. Shoulders pulled away from your ears. Let's add in that hip dip. So down, up, down, up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Roll yourselves forward. Let's take a moment in Sphinx, really stretching through the lower back. So elbows, once again, underneath of those armpits, apply some pressure into your elbows. If this is too much on your low back, you can always open those arms a little bit wider, releasing your belly towards the floor, but still lifting with your chest. So you're really working to get the chest away from the floor as much as possible. Take one more big inhale right here. And on your exhale, lower yourself down for a second. Make a pillow with your hands, bend your knees, windshield wipe your feet in opposite directions. Next, we're going to press ourselves up and come into a forearm plank. We're keeping these planks short and sweet. Press yourself up in 3, 2, 1. So tucking those toes under, lifting your hips up. Hips are still ideally about in line with your shoulders. If you need to, you can always have the knees down on the floor, hanging out here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay, what a beautiful 20-second plank. Let's roll over onto the opposite side. And we're going to once again come into this nice side body stretch. Find what feels good for that lower arm. I think I'm going to keep this lower arm in the same position that I'm going to use for the plank and really start to reach your fingers down towards your knee or towards your heel. So chest is nice and open, upper back is engaged. Big side body stretch for 3, 2, let's come into that plank. Option to maybe join me, bring in that front foot forward. We're going to press ourselves up and hold for 10 seconds. And now we're going to add in that hip dip. So down, up, down, up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Ooh, what's next? Oh, all right. Coming on back through into Sphinx. Find that Sphinx once again. We're going to take this lower back stretch a little bit deeper this time and go from Sphinx into Seal. So hands, palms pressed down on the floor. If it works for you today, press into your hands, palms, lift yourself up, lower belly, pubic mound, belly button is still ideally towards the mat. Big lift of the chest comes a little bit forward, closer towards the biceps for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Lower yourself down. Make a pillow with your hands. Bend your knees. Windshield wipe your feet. Right and left, right and left. We got one more plank. This time, let's go for a straight arm plank. Maybe you even press yourself up into tabletop. Get your hands, palms right underneath of your chest and shoulders. We start in 3, 2, 1. So walk those legs back. Maybe you have your legs nice and wide for a big stable base. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other. We're going to hang out here for 10 more seconds, and then we're going to press ourselves up into a down dog. Ready? Take a big inhale. Exhale, send your hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe even gently shorten your step. Maybe you tuck your shirt in like a winner, or maybe that's just me. Awesome. Let's get a little bit more work here. So we're going to go from this down dog and shift back forward into our plank. Take the wrinkles out of your neck. Press back up into your down dog. Reach left hand towards right ankle. Nice and slow. Bring that hand back forward. Shift back into your plank. Shift back into your down dog. Reach back for your left knee or left ankle. Let's get that 2 more times each side. Reaching back from your down dog for a right ankle tap. Shifting the weight forward. Taking a moment to pause in your plank. Shifting up into your down dog. Tapping that left ankle. We got 1 more time each side. If you can't stick with it, that's totally okay. You can always release yourself down and come on into child's pose. Otherwise, we're all going to meet together in child's pose after we finish this last left tap. 1 more plank for 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees down towards the floor. You can open them nice and wide. Send your glutes back towards your heels. Walk your hands as far forward. This feels good for you today. If that's too much of a stretch in your shoulders, remember you can take that nice generous bend of your elbows. Find what feels good for you. I'm going to add that nice bend to the elbows and reach my fingers back towards my upper back. Things are feeling a little sweaty back there. Hopefully the same for you. If not, I will admit I am exercising in here with no air conditioning on, and it is super hot here in Washington, D.C. today. Getting this free massage. Free massage. Awesome. Press yourself up. Come on back through to tabletop. Give yourself a couple cat cows right here. You can move as fast or as slow as you want for these cat-cows. Oh, maybe a little look over one side of the body and then the other to give a little extra stretch and love into the side body, which we gently worked already today. Excellent. Lift yourself up. Let's take a nice quick hip opener. So bring your right foot forward and gently start to shift the weight forward. Try not to turn your hips at all. You should feel a nice big stretch through the left hip flexor while that right hip is forward. And if you're not quite feeling it, press the left knee down into the floor. Take a little extra squeeze of that left glute. Ooh, on the exhale, we're going to press into the right heel, start to straighten that right leg. Glutes come a little closer towards the left heel. Maybe even flex your toes back towards your face. You can even reach towards your toes. I'm going to bring my foot a little further forward to ease into the stretch as we get a nice hamstring stretch. The lower that you get your nose to your knee, the more intense the stretch is going to be. So if it feels better for you to stay nice and lifted, then please stay nice and lifted. We got just a couple breaths left right here. And then we're going to shift the weight forward one more time. As you get there, tuck your back toe under. Take a moment, lift yourself up. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling, keeping those hips squared towards the front of the mat. Exhale, take a nice cactus of those arms. Still a big stretch through that left hip. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fingers come back down towards the floor. Release your left knee towards the floor. Untuck your toe. Bring your right leg back to meet with your left knee. And we find ourselves in tabletop. Great option for a couple more cat cows right here. Think about, especially as you come into cow, taking the opportunity to really separate your glutes as much as possible, really spreading them nice and wide, getting that extra stretch into the lower back half of the body. Ooh. Hopefully you had enough time to get each direction a couple times. Take a moment in that neutral tabletop, drawing your belly button back towards your spine. Start to press your knees into the floor. Walk your hands back to your knees. Lift yourself up. Let's bring that left foot forward. Hips stay squared towards the front of the mat. Do your best not to turn out. Shift the weight forward. If you're not feeling the stretch in this right hip flexor, press the right knee down towards the floor. Take that extra little squeeze of your right glute. Just a couple breaths right here before we turn this into our hamstring stretch. Hey, beautiful birdie. All right, on your exhale, start to send your glutes back towards the right heel. Maybe you even walk or wiggle the left foot a little further forward. Perhaps you flex your toes back towards your face, maybe even reaching towards those toes. I like to come down with that flat back at first. And then if you want to, maybe you find a little bit of rounding as lower belly comes closer towards thighs. Just a couple breaths left right here, and then we're going to shift it forward one more time. So let's find that forward shift. You can have your hands on the floor or maybe one hand on your knee to help you tuck your back toe under and lift yourself up into that lunge. Inhale your arms up towards the ceiling, hips still forward. Exhale, cactus those arms. Take a gentle little back bend right here. Inhale, arms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fingers come down towards the floor. Release your right knee down towards the floor. Bring your left leg back to meet with the right. One more cat cow, one more cat cow. We're worth it. Awesome. Open your knees a little bit wider. Cross your legs behind you. Walk your hands back. And then bring feet forward. Let's take a quick little spine twist, and then we'll finish with some extra abdominal engagement. Keeping that left leg long, you're going to cross your right leg over the left. Bring your right hands behind you, close to the base of your spine, and think of it like a kickstand. So press into your right hand. Find a big lift of your chest. Squeeze shoulder blades together, ground through your sit bones. On your next inhale, lift up one more time, and exhale, turn, twist over your right shoulder. But don't sacrifice the length that you created in your spine to find the twist. And if it feels good, take another inhale. You can turn on your exhale, look over your shoulder. Inhale, find your length again. Exhale, gently turn forward back to center. Uncross your legs. Both hands come behind your back. Take a moment, bob your knees, windshield wipe your feet, and then find a little supported back bend. Lift through your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Awesome. Let's get that other side. So sitting up nice and straight, left leg is crossing over the right leg, left hand comes behind your back. Before you move, press into your hand, press into your sit bones, use your breath, inhale, lift yourself up, squeeze shoulder blades together on the way up, chest is nice and open, stretching through the crown of your head. One more big inhale, belly in, exhale, ooh, turn, twist, look over that left shoulder. I know last time we separated the looking over the shoulder. So if you separated them too, one more big inhale, find your length, and exhale if it feels good. Look over your left shoulder. And if that's a little too much for you, just keep your head in the same direction that your chest is facing. Two more breaths here, one without moving. Then one more inhale, find your length. Exhale, turn back towards center, uncross your legs. We're going to bring our hands behind us for this last little ab move. All right. Drawing both of your heels in towards the center line. We're going to lift heels up off the floor. There's some weight in your hands. You're going to press through one heel, bring it back in, press through the other heel, bring it back in. Let's get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Are you ready for more of a challenge? Let's go ahead and alternate those legs. So instead of one knee coming in and then passing, both legs are passing each other at the same time. Let's get 5 more. 4, 3, 2. Option to not use those hands behind you. Woo! Press through those heels. 9, on 8, even Stevens. 7, take that lift of your chest. 6, if you find that you're really collapsing through your chest or through your back, I want you to put your hands back to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Release those feet back down towards the floor. Let's carefully lower ourselves back down towards the mat. Amazing. When you get there, draw your knees in towards your chest. Stretch your elbows down towards your hips. Slightly different core and stretch class today. We really built some of our core moves in with our stretching. Hopefully you enjoyed making that happen. Always like to mix things up just a little bit, finding a different way to keep your body challenged and your mind engaged. Exhale, release the soles of the feet to the floor. Open your arms out towards the side. Let's find one more spine twist, this time reclined. Really see how much you can stack your hips while keeping shoulders down flat on the mat. You might not be able to have both shoulders down on the mat, but can you stack your hips as much as possible? I bet you can do that. Awesome. Roll yourself back to center. Press into the soles of the feet. Support yourself as you roll over to the opposite side. Really try and stack those hips. So it's going to bring an extra stretch, especially into the low back. The more you really work to bring that top hip on top of the bottom one. And the more that you really open up your chest and work to bring those shoulder blades towards the mat, the deeper your stretch is going to be too. Just a couple breaths, left, right here. And then whichever direction your knees are pointing, we're going to bring our arms to that direction. Take a moment just relaxing in the fetal position. And then rolling back over, finding your way in tabletop again. Oh, one more cow, one more cow. Then go ahead, tuck your toes under, send your hips up towards the ceiling, pedal through your heels, finishing the same way we started, bringing some love into your calves, into your ankles. Walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Bring the stretch back into your hamstrings. Big dangle with the upper body and lift of your hips. Take a moment, shake your head. Yes. Yes, I am glad I came. Shake your head. No. No, I do not regret investing time in myself. And then generously bend your knees, come on into a squat, weight in your heels, slowly roll yourself up. One vertebrae at a time, stack shoulders on top of hips, and inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, relax your arms down by your side. Keep them there. Don't move. Stay in your mountain for 2 more breaths. Excellent. Great work. That's all the time we have for today, y'all. I hope that you finished feeling a little bit better than when you got started. That's always the goal. And if not, I hope that you feel even better tomorrow and throughout the day because you know that you made this time for yourself. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, reach out. If you have any particular aches, pains, or body parts that you would like to see a class address, let me know and I will put that together for you. See you on Friday. We're some yin. Have a wonderful rest of your day.